Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jory Dido. I'm the Manager of Technical Exhibits for RSNA. I'd like to welcome you all to our webinar, How to Promote Your RSNA Exhibit, Tools and Strategies for Event Marketing and Media Relations. During this webinar, you'll be able to send us questions through the chat, which we will answer at the end of this presentation. RSNA works hard to partner with companies and provide the necessary tools to ensure your RSNA exhibit is a success. So we are happy to have Trina Liu and Irene Muldoon joining us today. They are both Senior Customer Content Specialists with our partner Virtual Press Office, CSUN PR Newswire's Trade Show Division. They have several years of experience counseling clients on event-related content and have attended and exhibited at numerous trade shows. Thank you both for joining us, and now I'll hand it off to Trina to get started.
All right, thank you, Jory, and thank you everyone for joining us. If you're watching this, we're willing to bet that you've experienced a time where you had to promote something, whether it be a product or service for your company, yourself during an interview, or perhaps it was at the lemonade stand as a kid. So today we're going to show you how to promote your RSNA presence through multiple channels to ensure your story reaches as many interested audiences as possible. In this webinar, we'll go over who we are as a company, why pre-show marketing is important, and what the RSNA online press room is and how to use it. You'll also discover tools that are available to help you accomplish your event goals. We'll be providing an in-depth look into each of those tools and demonstrate how RSNA exhibiting companies have successfully utilized them in the past. And now I will hand it off to Ariane to start us off.
Okay, thank you, Trina. So before we begin throwing all sorts of stats and tips at you, we wanted to give you a little bit of background on who we are and what we do. So Virtual Press Office is essentially CSUN PR Newswire's trade show division, and our ultimate goal is to help you tell your trade show story. VPO was founded in 1996 and invented the online trade show press office as an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional paper press kits. After being in business for over 20 years, today we are a leader in online press office management and event marketing solutions. We're also very happy to say that we've been working with RSNA for 7 years now. One of the great things about RSNA is that they're not only a partner to us, but a genuine partner to you as well. With all the resources they provide, it's clear that they want you to succeed, and so do we. VPO has helped hundreds of brands in the industry do just that. From household names like Fujifilm, Philips, and the Cleveland Clinic to startup companies new to the market, we have experience assisting companies in executing event strategies. We've also exhibited at our fair share of shows, so we definitely understand all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes and know firsthand about the deadlines that you're facing leading up to the show. Primarily, however, we're here as a resource. Over the years, we've been fortunate enough to attend RSNA several times to meet with clients, deepen our knowledge about the show, and experience everything that RSNA has to offer. So if we can help take one thing off your plate or make something easier for you so that you can focus on other parts of the show, we're delighted to do it. Okay, so let's get started by first taking a look at some numbers that will put everything we'll be talking about into context. Pre-show marketing is crucial to your event strategy, and these statistics really illustrate why. 70% of attendees decide which booths to visit before the event, but only 13% of companies do some type of pre-show marketing. These two stats immediately tell a story. If you're not getting in front of your customers, prospects, and other audiences before the show, you likely won't get in front of them at the event either. Of companies that do use pre-show marketing tactics, less than half, just 40%, are actually tracking and measuring the results of those efforts. This number should be 100%. If you are going to invest in pre-show promotion, you need to be able to show some sort of data to prove ROI and inform your strategy going forward. If you're trying to argue for a larger trade show budget or trying to explain why your dollars were well spent, your boss will want to see actionable numbers, right? Think about what success would look like for you and what benchmarks are important to your company, and then select solutions that support that vision. Finally, 63% of exhibitors see the value and importance of pre-show promotion increasing in the coming years. So if you're not doing pre-show marketing, your competitors are, or they soon will be. If I've just made you panic because you've already spent most of your trade show budget but haven't done much pre-show marketing yet, not to worry. While there are a lot of pre-show marketing options out there, we like to focus on ones that are accessible, easy to execute, and low cost with high impact. So email is an effective tool that just about everyone is already utilizing. You can use email for media pitches, custom invites to customers, and of course broad marketing blasts to your own segmented house list. Social media is something that easily gets overlooked for a technical professional show like RSNA. However, if your customers are on social, which they are, you should be too. You don't have to post everywhere from Pinterest to Twitter, especially if those platforms don't make sense for your brand. Instead, focus on the places where your customers live, like LinkedIn or Facebook. Event microsites are increasing in popularity and for good reason. They offer a one-stop shop for timely, concise, relevant content. If someone is looking for information related to your company at the show, it's a lot better to send them to your event landing page than just telling them to go to your website, where you have to hope that they find what they're looking for or hope that they make it into your lead funnel. We'll dig much deeper into event microsites shortly. Blog posts are another great way to connect with your audience in the months and weeks leading up to the event. This space is perfect for offering teasers about what you'll be announcing at the show or putting a spotlight on a company VP that might have a panel slot. While there are a lot of other promotional methods out there like direct mail and ads, don't forget about the existing content you already have in your toolbox. Things like press releases, brochures, and multimedia can be very effective across your owned and paid spaces to produce results. So, if you were feeling a little overwhelmed a few minutes ago, I hope you know you're not out of options or resources. If you do even just one of the above tactics, you'll already be ahead of a lot of your peers. One resource in particular that we're excited to invite you to participate in is the official RSNA online press room by way of an online press kit package. The online press room is an important resource for media, attendees, and industry professionals that can give you a huge visibility boost. Before we go any further though, I do want to take a moment to clarify that the press room is indeed different and separate from the exhibitor listing directory that you're probably already familiar with. Being part of the RSNA online press room is an opt-in service with a cost. So why would you want to add this to your budget? If you're already listed on an RSNA site, what additional benefits could this page provide? As we discussed earlier, pre-show marketing investment is crucial. While there are a lot of pre-show marketing avenues you can take, this one hits a lot of different points and it can easily coexist with the listings you already have. So let's go over some basics about the press room before we then get into press kit specifics. Firstly, there are a few different ways to access the online press room. You can either reach it directly at rsna.bporoom.com or navigate to it from the RSNA site by either clicking on Newsroom on the left or Media in the top bar and then on Newsroom. Once there, you can see why we call it a comprehensive resource. It's a one-stop shop for everything from the latest headlines to RSNA tweets, as well as links to exhibitor press kits with in-depth content. Journalists are also directed to this page to source their stories around the show. So this page is available 24/7, 365 from any device and is mobile friendly. We simply update this site every year in advance of the event, so the URL does not change, and it's easy to search for old news if you so choose. The great thing about being online is that journalists on deadline can easily access the information they need, even if it's at 3 a.m. And the press room is also search engine optimized, which results in a larger audience outside of the show finding and engaging with the content. Having news online also gives it longevity, so once the information is out there and indexed by Google, someone will always be able to find it. Finally, the press room is flexible. Not only is it responsive, but it can handle any sort of file, whether that's a Word document, PDF, or YouTube video. It updates in real time and is built to accommodate last-minute changes and breaking news. For a little insight, the event page receives nearly 1,000 visits 2,000 page views, and 40 keyword search queries from October to December last year. Individual press kit averages can range from less than 50 page views to over 500. It all really depends on how you promote it and what kind of content you have. But being featured on the online press room is a great way to stand out over other exhibitors and easily amplify your show presence, especially when you have a limited budget and need to pick and choose your investments. So now that we've gone over the perks of being part of the online press room, I'd like to dive a little deeper and look at the benefits of the online press kit itself. Note that we have 3 different levels of press kits, but each feature we're discussing here applies to all of those levels. So we often use the term online press kit, but it's really a content hub or an event microsite that's hosted on the press room. It can house everything from your news announcements to high-res images and videos, case studies, or brochures. For a highly technical show like RSNA, the attendees are expecting and want a lot of content, and this is an efficient way to easily deliver that information. The other great thing about hosting your content on a kit like this is that it's quick and simple to set up, and if you have any last-minute changes, it's very easy for us to edit. So instead of spending hours creating physical paper press kits or putting together USBs, you can free up that time to focus on other tasks. We've actually had a lot of people tell us that many of their USB press kits go unused because journalists will just wipe off the content and use them as personal USBs. We also have distribution capabilities. For any recent news announcements that you elect to place on your press kit, we'll automatically email them out for you. They'll reach the registered media list and other industry professionals who requested to receive news from us. This is a huge advantage over DIYing a site or using other services because we can guarantee distribution to the journalists that matter. Another important part of an event microsite is one that's often overlooked: contact information. Include your company address, your PR agency rep if you have one, the best person to connect with at the show, who to contact after the event for follow-up questions, etc. We also have a spot for the booth number to ensure anyone looking at your kit knows exactly where to find you. One major perk of an online press kit over a hard copy is data. With our press kits, we provide you with reporting metrics. You can easily see what content resonates with your audience and how much your kit was used. We have numbers on visits, clicks, downloads, email opens, and even the amount of time spent on individual pages. In many cases, those people interacting with your press kit will be viewing it across multiple devices, so it's important to have a responsive design. Both the press room and the press kits are responsive, meaning your audience can enjoy a seamless content experience on the go. To personalize your kit, we can incorporate familiar branding elements such as a company logo, an accent color, and social media accounts. There's also a space for a company description, which you can utilize however you like. Even though you wouldn't be hosting the kit, using a branded microsite like this helps keep your event messaging visually consistent. Another major perk is having a shareable vanity URL. To have a truly successful press kit, you'll want to promote the link to it as much as possible in press releases and social media posts, on business cards and on the show floor, etc. When you're using a link that much, you want it to be simple. The format of our press kit links is rsna.vprroom.com/your company name. Having your kit online with a branded URL also makes it SEO friendly, giving you an extra boost in exposure. Finally, we offer the option to add on some additional premium features. For example, if you want a lead generation form to use for booking interview appointments or demos, we can do that. If you have a lot of products or calls to action that you want to direct your audience to, you might want to do a scrolling photo slideshow feature instead. Depending on your event goals, we can work with you to create a custom press kit that meets your needs. Okay, so you're all experts on the general benefits of online press kits now. But we wanted to take a moment to dive a little deeper into the 3 different levels of press kits that I mentioned earlier. So let's get started with the micro kit. The micro kit is our starting level and is $3.99. It includes a vanity URL, which I mentioned a few moments ago. This is that customized URL with your company name. You also have space for a PR contact listing, a logo or banner to stretch across the top, a website link, and a company description. The main micro-kit feature is that it hosts up to 3 pieces of content. So you could do 3 releases or 1 release, 1 photo, and 1 video, any kind of mix and match that you want. Again, any news releases added to the kit that are less than 30 days old will automatically be emailed out to the registered press list. Social sharing buttons are also built into the kit so that anyone can easily share a release on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. There's also an email button to make sending the kit to a colleague, prospect, buyer, or journalist super simple. The reporting metrics come in the form of weekly and monthly emails containing data summaries on how visitors interacted with your content. Finally, the press kit is active for 1 year, so you can continue to use it in your follow-up and outreach efforts well after the show ends. So next up is our standard kit. This is our mid-level and most popular option at $6.99. It includes all of the features of the micro kit plus 6 pieces of content rather than 3. At this level, you also unlock the ability to embed up to 3 assets with each news release. An asset could be anything from a photo to a video to a PDF. For example, if you have 6 press releases, you could add 3 images to each one, and these embedded assets don't count toward that 6 pieces of content total. You also get your choice of branding design color. This is the accent color that affects the button colors, link colors, and is usually one that we match to your logo. To further create a branded experience, we can add your company's social media properties in a call-out box on the right-hand side. This makes it really easy for readers to connect with you, especially since we can pull in live feeds from certain properties like Facebook and Twitter. The premium kit is our highest level at $9.99. It includes all of the features of the standard kit, plus a scrolling photo slideshow banner with up to 5 images. This appears under the main logo or banner that sits at the top of the press kit. It's really great for drawing attention to certain show highlights or for showcasing a call to action. Each image can have a caption and link out to a page of your choice, whether that's on your own website or somewhere else. We have clients that use this to draw attention to new products, speaking engagements, or giveaways. If you're looking to capture leads, we can also create a completely customized lead generation form. This is perfect if you want to book appointments for demos or interviews or just want an additional way to gather prospects. With the premium press kit, we also do a little more magic behind the scenes to enhance SEO optimization. As an example, one of the things we do is customize all of the URLs for each of your press kit tabs. So you already have a branded URL that has your company name in it, but then we take it a step further. Instead of the news tab URL reading something like rsna.vporoom.com/your company name/index, a bunch of numbers, .php, it'll just say /news. Depending on your event focus, one of these kits probably stands out as a better fit than the others. In general, micro kits are great if you have 1 or 2 announcements and want to make sure you reach the attending media. Standard kits are ideal if you have multiple announcements or a lot of supplementary content that you want to be able to easily share with various groups. If you have a ton of content or have several different campaigns with specific needs, that's when the premium kit comes in handy. To make your online press kit as successful as it can be, we'd like to offer you some tips and best practices. After all, the online press kit is a tool, but for it to be effective, it has to be put together and promoted properly. And even if you don't end up getting a press kit with us, many of these tactics can be applied to other solutions, so just keep that in mind. So number 1 is use relevant content. You're creating a microsite for a reason. You don't want to force your audience to sift through old content that's not pertinent to the show. They could just dig through your website archives for that, and no one really wants to do that. So instead, pare down materials to only the most pertinent for the event and your story. Journalists use these kits as a resource, and oftentimes we'll see the exact images and files supplied on the kit as the feature photo or quote in earned media articles. For the content you do choose to feature, utilize the mix and match format approach. One type of content might resonate with one person over another, so include text, images, and video if possible. Infographics are one of my favorite things to see on press kits because they convey a lot of information in a smart, visual way and can be used by various audience groups. Essentially, the more types of content you include, the higher your chances are of having someone utilize it. So I cannot overstate this third tip enough: promote the URL. The idea that if you build it, they will come is not a sound strategy, especially for event promotion. You need to be proactive. Include the link in press releases, emails, invites, on social media, on your website, anywhere that makes sense. You know where your audience is better than we do, so share your content in the spaces they frequent. Be sure to include the official RSNA hashtag where appropriate as well. If you have an RSNA listing, this is another good spot to insert your press kit link and vice versa. However, we do a bit of promotion ourselves to give you a boost. We send out what we call a roundup release that promotes the RSNA press office. This gets sent out over PR Newswire's US 1 Newsline, is targeted for the health industry, and helps drive more traffic to our page and hopefully to your press kit as well. Don't forget that your press kit is a tool to be used right on the show floor too. Most people see the value of the press kit for pre-show promotion and post-show follow-up, but then forget about it during the event, and that's when it can really shine. You can easily access the kit on any digital device you have with you, your phone, a tablet, or a laptop. There's an email functionality on the kit, so if you're having a conversation with someone and want to send them more info, just ask for their address and hit the email button to instantly share it with them. One of my favorite examples is including the press kit link on the business cards you bring to the show. Many of our clients use this tactic with success. So if you don't want to get new business cards printed, an easy fix is getting the link printed out on adhesive labels instead. That way you can just quickly paste the link onto the card. As I mentioned, the press kit is a great follow-up tool. So be sure to include the link in all of your post-show communications and pitches. If you're doing any follow-up at all, you're already ahead of the game. Leads gathered at trade shows are notorious for being lost simply because no one ever followed up with them. So don't let that happen to you. Of the people that you do reach out to, remember that they talked with a ton of people. Instead of trying to rehash your conversation in the email to jog their memory, include the press kit link as a reference. If it's visually branded and contains content that you discussed, they'll instantly remember who you are. You can still include personal details in your outreach, of course, but the press kit really does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. After the show, don't forget to examine your reporting data. No matter what kind of service you're using, this is a crucial step. Take stock of what content performed well and what maybe didn't perform so well. This knowledge can help inform next year's strategy or even other campaigns. Event marketing is a constant learning process. Okay, so now that I've thrown all sorts of information at you, here's an example of what happens when that all comes together. Here you'll see a video of a standard press kit for Nautilus Medical as I'm going over a few highlights. First, you'll notice that the press kit has recognizable branding. I didn't really have to introduce this kit as belonging to Nautilus Medical because it's apparent from the video. They have a logo, a branded color, their social media, website, etc., so you know exactly whose content you're interacting with. There's only one press release on the kit, but it has a nice headline. Hospitals have been soaked by the cloud. Right away, you know what the core of the release is about, but it's still intriguing enough that you want more detail. There's also an accompanying video and 2 photos embedded right within the release to make it that much more engaging. Aside from the release, this press kit also incorporates multimedia in a smart way. There are brochure-style photos in the image gallery and an infographic-style PDF in the documents section. So this mix and match content throughout the kit makes it easy to absorb a lot of technical information. It might look like there are a lot of components and moving parts to this, but we truly try to make the process as simple and as seamless as possible for you. You pretty much just email us the content and we do the rest. Now up next we're going to switch gears a little bit. Moving on from the press kit, my colleague Trina is going to discuss press releases and news distribution options.
All right, thank you, Ariane. So if your company has never utilized the news release distribution, or if they have but they stopped, there's more and more research supporting its importance. According to a 2015 Nielsen report, 80% of consumers trust earned media more than owned and paid. And according to an Outsell independent research study, 81% of senior marketers believe that earned media is more effective than paid. So what does this have to do with news release distribution? One of the biggest benefits of news release distribution is it helps generate earned media. PR Newswire sends to editorial systems and newsrooms of nearly 3,000 major media publications and PR Newswire for Journalists, or PRNJ for short. PRNJ is a site where journalists can sign up for free to receive news from PR Newswire. The site has been around for many years, and it's known in the journalist community. All journalists that sign up are vetted, and it has 36,000 active members. There is also research from the Content Marketing Institute that says 78% of effective content marketers use press release services versus 55% of less effective content marketers. How do press release services help content marketing? PR Newswire distribution increases discoverability by sending releases to more than 4,000 websites. Think about it, especially if you're a newer company. The audiences that visit those websites may not know about your company or know that what you have to offer is exactly what they've been looking for. Or maybe they see your release and it's exactly what a friend has been looking for. By blasting your releases to a broad distribution, it increases the chance of reaching potential clients. Releases are even funneled to websites when they are coded for certain industries. So RSNA releases would reach sites like WebMD, Reuters Health, and Drugs.com, to name a few. The importance of earned media is unparalleled in today's world, but it's hard to get journalists' attention. In Cision's 2017 State of the Media report, more than 50% of respondents said a pitch that lines up with their past work and interests is what drove them to pursue a story. How does PR Newswire help with that? When you send a release over PR Newswire, editorial specialists read and code every release by industry and subject. When journalists sign up for PRNJ, they can indicate what types of industries they want to receive news about. This ensures news releases are only sent to relevant media points. News release distribution also has numerous other benefits, such as it can increase SEO. Utilizing a PR Newswire distribution means your release will be posted on prnewswire.com, which received 13 million plus organic search referred traffic and approximately 1.7 million unique monthly visitors from May 2016 to May 2017. PRN.com is an established website with a dedicated team to keep up with Google algorithm changes and ensure news releases on the site are consistently optimized. Also, since releases are distributed to over 4,000 plus websites, each of those sites has their own methods for optimizing content on their site. I'll demonstrate how news release distribution helps SEO later in this presentation. Another added benefit news release distribution is social media distribution. We all know the importance of social media, and PR Newswire provides distributions that come with Twitter distribution. After your release goes out, PR Newswire will tweet the prn.com link to your release on up to 3 of their industry handles like @PRNHealth and @PRNAlert. Social media is a major part of a multi-channel strategy, and by having handles outside of your own tweeting your news, it provides the opportunity to reach new social audiences. All PR Newswire distributions also come with a post-distribution measurement report, also known as a visibility report, to help evaluate your results. After your release is distributed, you will receive a 2-hour, 48-hour, 5-day, and 30-day report via email. The report includes graphs, geographic charts, and it is highly customizable for all business needs to show how goals were met and ROI. Finally, another major benefit to news distribution is access to counseling to ensure you are utilizing all the tools to get the most out of your experience with us. We pride ourselves on our customer service, and we often provide one-on-one counseling to assist customers with content strategies, press release best practices, SEO tips, and more. While we're technically not a press release writing service, we understand that not everyone is savvy in press release writing. We are happy to look at your release before distribution and provide suggestions and small rewrites in order to provide peace of mind. PR Newswire editors also review the release for grammatical and spelling errors before distributing. So, if you've never written a press release before, now is the time to start, since you will have access to editors that process press releases day in and day out. We know what makes a successful release, and we want to share our knowledge with you. We'll be providing our contact information at the end of this webinar. If you decide to use our service, please don't be afraid to give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Now that you know the benefits, to make this easy for you, we have two packaged options that combine our online press kit service that Ariane went over with PR Newswire release distribution. Our national exposure package combines our mid-level standard online press kit with a US 1 national PR Newswire release. This distribution targets the media, industry professionals, and websites across the US. So it casts a wide net, providing broad coverage that helps reach new audiences. Consider this distribution if you have new products, medical breakthroughs, or other major event announcements. The National Exposure Package includes one 800-word release that is sent to newspapers, radio, TV, and trade magazines in all 50 states. It goes to more than 4,400 websites, receives SEO via posting to prnewswire.com, and includes Twitter posting, distribution to PRNJ, and post-distribution visibility reports. Our other package option is the Web Visibility Package. This package combines our mid-level standard online press kit with a US web-only PR Newswire release. This option is best if you aren't interested in reaching the media, but you want to promote your news or content to an audience outside of your own channels like your website and get an SEO boost. This option is great for promoting a company blog or new white paper or case study. The Web Visibility Package includes one unlimited word release sent to more than 1,600 websites. It receives SEO via posting to prnewswire.com and post-release visibility reports. Please note that this package does not include distribution to PRNJ, Twitter posting, or distribution to newspapers, radio, TV, or trade magazines. This is strictly web only. The two packages I just mentioned are the main RSNA offerings that are meant to simplify choices and the order process. However, if you have more customized needs, PR Newswire has numerous other options that start as small as state and local distributions and grow to global distributions. PR Newswire distributes to 170 countries and more than 40 languages, so the options are endless. If you have customized requests, please do not hesitate to talk to one of our sales representatives to get a package tailored to your needs. Again, we'll provide contact information at the end of this webinar. We also have a few news release distribution add-ons and precision measurement services that I'll go into more detail now, such as the PR Newswire Media Microlists. Media Microlists are available to fine-tune the targeting of your PR Newswire newsline. These lists reach reporters covering niche industry beats, such as radiology and medical products and services, and they are sent in the manner the reporters prefer, such as fax or email. Journalists request to be placed on these lists so you can rest assured your news aligns with their beats and interests, which could increase the chances of them pursuing your story. PR Newswire also offers multimedia distribution to accompany the news release distribution service. If you have photos or videos, we recommend adding them to your release for more engagement, especially since RSNA is an imaging event. Releases with photos receive an average of 1.4 times more views, and videos receive an average of 2.8 times more views. Journalists also love multimedia as well. According to the Cision State of the Media report, journalist respondents said they always or often use multimedia elements 70.5% of the time. When you add on a photo or video distribution, assets are embedded within the release on up to 2,100 partner sites that can handle display of multimedia assets. We also have some longer-term Cision services that can help provide a more complete picture of communication strategies, such as Cision's media database. According to research from eMarketer, 75% of brands say that identifying the right influencers to reach out to is the biggest challenge in earned media. Cision's media database service eliminates that challenge, as the platform allows users to search for influencers by industry, keyword, and type of outlet like blog, newspapers, TV, etc. Once you've compiled a list of desired influencers, you can easily email them within the platform. Cision also offers monitoring as a way to fully understand the multi-channel reach of your campaigns. You can also monitor coverage or mentions of your brand online, on social media, as well as TV, print, and radio. Cision's platform also allows for Google Analytics and integration, so you can track earned media mentions directly back to your own websites and purchases. This means PR and communication professionals finally have a way to tie their communications efforts to revenue. So we've gone over the benefits of news release distribution and the tools to accomplish those goals. Now, to ensure you're getting the most out of your event news, I'm going to dive into some tips for creating successful news releases. The first tip is to make sure you incorporate the event name and your company name in the headline or subheadline. Headlines should be under 100 characters with the most important information appearing in the first 65 characters. Why? Because 65 characters is the cutoff point for email subject lines and newsroom feeds. Google's cutoff point is about 70 characters. You also want to feature a clear call to action. It's important that you think about the goal of the press release and what you want readers to do next. Is the goal to drive attendees to your booth? Ask readers to make an appointment. Is it to drive traffic to your website? Ask readers to go to your website. Side note, if you use Google Analytics, you can make any call to action link trackable so you can see how many visitors came from the PR Newswire release. We provided the link to build trackable URLs in this slide. And again, we will be emailing this slide to you after the presentation so you can visit all the links. As for placement of the call to action, you want to make sure it appears towards the beginning of the release and at the bottom. People read differently. Some skim through the whole release, and others read only the first few paragraphs. The next tip is to utilize multimedia like images and videos. We mention multimedia a lot in this presentation, and that's because it's important. Images and videos capture attention, and infographics are a great way to visually display large amounts of data to make findings easier to digest. Many experts actually suggest starting with multimedia ideas first, even before writing the release. And as I mentioned earlier, people read things differently online, so it's important to use disruptive formatting and natural language. If you're able to break things out into bullet points or mark different sections of your release with bolded subheadings, it breaks up the release in chunks, making the release skimmable and mobile friendly. You also want to use natural language because it helps make sure your news has a broader appeal and earns you points with search engines like Google. The next tip, don't forget to put the booth number in your release. You'd be surprised how many people don't include the booth number, but it's so important. If you don't include a booth number, it's like inviting people to a birthday party but not including your address. And the final tip is to take advantage of social media. RSNA has an official hashtag to utilize, hashtag RSNA17. Tweet your news and show updates out with that hashtag to ensure you're reaching interested audiences on social. One of the main questions we often get about news releases is, when should I send it? Most exhibitors send their releases the first day of the show, but just because everyone else is doing it that way doesn't mean it's the best time. The first thing you want to think about is the goal of your press release. If you want to drive traffic, then sending your release out during the show is already too late. Attendees are busy at the show and may miss your announcement. And as we know from earlier, attendees know what booths they are visiting before the show. Now, if you have a new product announcement and are looking to reach the media, releasing in conjunction with the show may not be a bad idea. This tactic may actually help get more media attention since the media are already looking at news coming out of the show. But be cautious, as many companies tend to release news on day one of the show, and your news could get lost in the avalanche. You also want to keep travel in mind. In the days leading up to the show, people are running around trying to wrap up things in the office, pack, and in most cases, they won't have access to internet while flying. If you're looking for your news to reach an audience attending RSNA, it's best to avoid sending the release 1 to 3 days before the show. Also, as a good rule of thumb, don't submit a press release right before getting on a plane, as press release services or the media may have questions. While you can't control when other big companies send their news, you can control when you send yours. Take a look and double check that there isn't a big company in the industry making a huge announcement the day you want to send your release. For example, the recent show, Mobile World Congress Americas, always starts on the day that Apple makes their new iPhone announcement. We often advise clients to either avoid sending their announcement that day or to send the release a few hours before or after to avoid their news getting lost in the iPhone frenzy. And just like it's okay to send out more than one tweet about a subject, you're also allowed to send more than one release. Each release should have a different angle, but sending multiple announcements helps to keep your company top of mind. RSNA happens 3 days after the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday, and while tempting, it's probably best to avoid sending news the week of Thanksgiving, as people often extend their vacations that week and therefore may not be in the office to see your news. At the very least, we'd advise to avoid sending your news the day before Thanksgiving. And the last timing tip is to be mindful of RSNA attendee behaviors. When we attended RSNA, we talked to exhibitors and asked them how the show was going. One exhibitor gave a great insight. The first day of the show, Sunday, usually consists of more international attendees, and the U.S. attendees tend to come to the show the second day because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Keep this in mind when thinking about what audiences you want to reach and when it would be best to reach them. So in order to put everything we just went over into practice, here's an example of a successful release that Teledyne also sent for RSNA 2016. As you can see to the right, the company name and trade show name are included in the event's headline. This helps the release come up when users search for RSNA news. The company also included the booth number in the subheadline and in bold at the end of the first paragraph, making it clear for readers where they can find them at the show. Teledyne also included a photo which can help increase engagement and provide a visual of one of their products. Next, you can see how Teledyne also incorporated disruptive formatting by including a bulleted list of these products, making it easily skimmable and clear what products will be featured at RSNA. And finally, they included a call to action to visit their RSNA online press kit, which helps drive traffic to their online press kit. So I just told you why this release was successful, but in order to know if it was successful, you need to have some way to measure it. As I mentioned earlier, PR Newswire distributions include visibility reports which provide metrics on how your release performed on PR Newswire's website and PR Newswire for Journalists. This release had 423 views on prnewswire.com and PR Newswire's syndicated network. This means the release was viewed 423 times, which is high compared to about the 200 views average releases get. The visibility reports for this release also show that 35 views resulted from a search on Google, and 18 views resulted from viewing the release on social media sites like Twitter. The 180 media views were from journalists discovering the release on PR Newswire's dedicated site for the media, PR Newswire for Journalists. There were views from varying outlets like NPR, Raycom News Network, Imaging Technology News, and more. In some cases, the report can also show the registered name of the organization from which the user viewed the release. For example, the report for this release shows that big names like Northrop Grumman Corp. And Symantec Corporation viewed this release. And finally, the most important indicator of success is engagement. Engagement means a reader was invested enough in your release to take an action of some kind. This release received 15 engagement actions. 10 engagement actions were from readers clicking on various links in the release. 5 readers shared the release on prnewswire.com, 2 shared via email, 2 shared the release via LinkedIn, and 1 shared via Facebook. Currently, engagement can only be measured if a reader engaged with the release on prnewswire.com, so those engagement numbers could be a lot higher. This is another reason why adding trackable URLs to your releases can help you see even more data in Google Analytics. PR Newswire also understands that these numbers alone might not mean anything to you. Visibility reports include a metric called Industry Benchmark, which shows on a scale of 1 to 100 how your release performs compared to other similar releases in your industry. Anything over 50 means the release's performance was above average for that category. This release scored right around or above 50 in all categories. And finally, As promised, I told you I'd show you how Cision PR Newswire and VPO can help with SEO. Our tools help with SEO in 4 ways. 1. VPO press kits and PR Newswire releases help generate earned media, which in turn helps enhance SEO. Google algorithms tend to bring up earned media articles in searches first, which is good because that's exactly what audiences trust the most. 2. VPO online press kits themselves are also search engine optimized, as you'll see shortly. 3. As mentioned earlier, all releases on PR Newswire's website are optimized. And 4. All 4,000 plus syndicated sites that PR Newswire releases go to have their own methods for optimization as well. So, provided that you use words in your release that your desired audience would search for, your releases can come up in search engines 4 different ways using our services. In the example on the right, I searched for X-ray detector for mammography RSNA 2016, and almost 1 year later, the top 3 results are still pulling articles and releases related to Teledyne Delta. The first article that comes up in search is an earned media article from RSNA 2015. This is a perfect example of the power and longevity of earned media. The next item that comes up in search is Teledyne Delta's RSNA VPO online press kit. This comes up because the search terms appear in the news release summary that is displayed on their press kit on their homepage. And finally, the third item that comes up is their release on prnewswire.com that we reviewed previously. Almost a year later, and their VPO press kit and PR Newswire release are still coming up in Google searches. And this concludes our webinar. Here are some resources if you'd like to learn more about anything we've discussed today. We will be emailing this presentation as well as sending a recording of this webinar later this afternoon for your reference so you can access the links throughout the presentation. As a thank you for joining, we'd like to offer 10% off any of our services for RSNA. Just place your order at the link provided by November 10th and put in RSNA Webinar 10 in the special instructions. This is only for companies that attended our webinar, so please keep that in mind before sharing the code. And again, if our packages don't serve your needs, please do not be afraid to contact our sales team at the information on our next slide, and they can work out a customized package for you and extend the 10% discount. And now we will open it up for questions. Please type any questions that you have in the chat box, and we will be happy to answer them for you now. And if you have any questions after the webinar or want advice regarding your content strategy, please don't be afraid to contact us at 973-783-7787, option 0, or email sales@VPO Inc. If you have any RSNA specific questions regarding your technical exhibit, you can email RSNA at exhibits@rsna.org, and Jory and her team will be able to help you. So now we will go ahead and answer our first question. Is there distribution for one press release or more? So that's a good question. Distribution for press kits, we email press releases on the press kit, any releases. If you do 6 press releases for a standard kit, we email all of them. So we do email them to attending RSNA media as well as a subscriber list that we have. If you wanted to distribute more than one release over PR Newswire, we could work out that as well. We can work that out with our sales team, and they'd be happy to customize a package for you. All right. Okay. And yes, we will definitely send you the display and the contact info and everything after this webinar. You'll receive it in about an hour. And if you don't receive that, feel free to contact us. Sorry about that. The contact us page was not up. There it is. So yeah, you can contact us at the sales@vpoinc.com address, or you can call us at that 973-783-7787. You will speak to either Ariane or I, so you won't get an unfamiliar voice. So feel free to give us a call, and we will be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Okay, so it looks like we have a question about reporting for the press kit. So the question is there a way to know which individuals viewed my press kit? So since the press kits are public and anyone around the world can access them without logging in, we cannot capture individual contact information for the individuals that are interacting with your kit. But we can track unique visits, page views, clicks, etc., and we can also track what geographical areas those actions come from. Okay, and then this is another popular question that we get that Jory, you might want to take. The question is, how do I get the RSNA media list?
Sorry, I was on mute.
No worries.
You could send the request over to me, and I can forward that up to our publications department.
Okay, perfect. All right. It doesn't look like we have any other questions coming in. So if you do think, oh, I'm sorry, I did miss one. Is the national exposure package for distribution for one press release or more? Oh, that's the part I missed. So yeah, the national exposure package is for one press release. However, we could do more. I apologize, your question got cut off. For how long the online press kit will be active? It'll be active for 9 months. But your link probably will last a little longer than that. Sorry about that. This chat box is just cutting off questions. All right, I think we have it all. And I do also want to apologize for all the beeps. That was my error. I forgot to turn off the beeps. So if you do have any other questions after this webinar, like I said, please contact us on the contact information on the screen, and we will be emailing you this presentation in about an hour. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and have a wonderful day.